Macs versus PC, the eternal grudge match that makes musicians and recording engineers lose their minds faster than a junkie at a guitar store clearance sale. We've been arguing about which system is better since Steve Jobs borrowed the graphical user interface from Xerox way back in 1979. Yeah, that's right, Mac users! Your precious innovation straight up stolen. But don't worry, that's just the beginning of your superiority complex. And with plugins, software, and hardware advancing at the speed of a meth-fueled squirrel on a caffeine bender, picking the right system for recording can make you question your life choices. But lucky for you, I've used both, and I'm here to settle this once and for all. Now here's the truth. Mac has a ton of advantages for recording engineers who actually give a damn about making serious music. Oh, now I can already hear you Windows-loving dipshits out there foaming at the mouth, ready to type out a 500-word rant, defending your precious PC like some kind of neckbeard protecting his anime wife. Relax, nerds. Put down your Mountain Dew and watch the damn video before you get your panties in a twist. Now, we've heard this come up on the show quite a bit. Doesn't matter if it's guitars or computers. The truth is, brand loyalty, it's for sheep and dumbasses. I used to be one of you. My first PC was a 386 DX40 that I bought way back in the summer of 1992, and I stuck with PCs for decades. But then YouTube, by some miracle, became my job, and guess what? Downtime isn't an option anymore. So here's 13 reasons why Mac blows PC out of the fucking water when it comes to audio production. Number one, they're not nearly as expensive as they used to be. Okay, let's tackle the elephant in the room, price. Yeah, back in the day, Macs were like luxury yachts, shiny, overpriced, and mostly something you dream about while your broke ass built yet another Frankenstein PC. I know because I was one of you. In the early 2000s, it seemed like a new, faster CPU was coming out every time you blinked, and if you had a screwdriver and a half-decent knowledge of how to piss away at a weekend, you could build a PC that could take over the world. Or at the very least, run Winamp, Cakewalk 3.0, and your favorite image viewer for research, all at the same time. But these days, Macs aren't just for pretentious art students hanging out in your local coffee shop and trust fund babies. Enter the Mac Studio, the Mac Mini, and even the MacBook Air. They're no longer unattainable status symbols. They're more like fancy speedboats, slick, stylish, and not completely designed to decimate your bank account like a high-end Mac Pro would. Finally, you can get top-tier performance from a Mac without selling a kidney. Take a peek at Apple's site. 13-inch MacBook Air, $999 with the M2 chip, or $1099 with the M3 chip. The Mac Mini starts at $599. And yeah, you'll need to buy an external monitor, but hey, that's a small price to pay for a machine that won't brick itself after a Windows update. And with a little creativity, you can get a killer recording rig for under $1,000. Unless, of course, you're one of those guys who needs to flex a $4,000 RGB lit monstrosity that crashes every time you try opening Reaper. Now this is my traveler rig, an M1 MacBook Air. My studio runs on an M1 Mac Studio, because why the hell would I gamble on downtime when I can just get shit done? PCs can keep their blue screens and overpriced GPUs. I'll stick with something that actually fucking works. Number two, integration between Mac, iPhone, and iPad. Now let's talk about the integration between Mac, iPhone, and iPad. Something that Windows can't even dream of pulling off without face planting. Think of it like Betamax versus VHS or Blu-ray versus HD DVD. Yeah, they tried to make it a fair fight, but one side was always doomed to die. Spoiler alert, Windows is like VHS. It used to be useful, but these days, not so much. Now imagine this, you're knee-deep in mixing and working on your latest track on your Mac. Suddenly, real life happens, you've got to leave the studio. No sweat, grab your MacBook Air and boom, you are at it, picking up exactly where you left off. It's like magic, except it's real and it doesn't involve sacrificing a goat to get it to work. I've lost count of how many times I've been blown away by how seamless this crap is. Thank you, iCloud! Sure, there's things like Dropbox and Google Drive for syncing, but come on, they're clunky as hell in comparison. With Mac, you don't have to fight your way through some kind of half-baked integration like you would on Windows. Oh, and let's not even start about the privacy nightmare that is Windows. Seriously, the minute you boot up a PC, it's like Bill Gates is personally watching what you're Googling, and yes, even that disgusting fetish thing you think nobody knows about. Don't even try and deny it. Windows is infamous for tracking users right out of the gate, and unless you're a total masochist, you're not opting in for that voluntarily. Sure, privacy is definitely a concern on Mac too, but at least Apple doesn't rub it in your face while selling your data to whoever's paying the most. And hey, Apple just doesn't build an OS, they design their hardware around it. It's not a Franken system of third-party garbage duct taped together. That means your Mac, your iPhone, your iPad, they all play together like a perfectly synchronized orchestra, unlike Windows, where it's more like trying to make a kazoo and a broken tambourine harmonized. Yeah, good luck with that. Number three, iMessage. Have you ever tried sending a text from your PC and watched it disappear into the digital void, never to be seen again? Yeah, not so much with iMessage. Apple's got this thing nailed down so tight that your texts sync across every Apple device like it's some kind of cult convenience. I've been using iMessage for years and it is a lifesaver. So whether you're stuck in a meeting, pretending to give a damn, or sitting on a coffee shop, desperately trying to look important with your laptop open, iMessage has got your back. And yeah, you can finally stop apologizing for sending those green bubble texts like a peasant. Congratulations, you've entered the realm of the enlightened. No more embarrassing, sorry my text didn't send moments. But seriously, it's not just for flexing on Android users. Having your text sync across all your devices makes it dead simple to shoot off a message when you're in a pinch. Like when you're desperately trying to wake up your dumbass bass player who's already 2 hours late for your session and surprise, surprise, ignored every call because he slept through his alarm. Pro tip, even with iMessage, you still can't fix stupid. Number 4, AirDrop. Remember the days of emailing files to yourself because you couldn't find a USB drive? Or worse yet, fumbling with the file organization like a confused toddler because you were juggling external hard drives, cloud storage, and ancient voodoo rituals just to get things transferred? Well, yeah, those days can kiss my ass because with AirDrop, you can instantly send files between Apple devices like you're teleporting that shit through hyperspace. No cables, no clunky software, no oh crap, where did I save that file again nonsense. It's seamless and it fucking works. Sure, I still use Dropbox when I need to send massive video files to my editors halfway across the planet, but for everyday use around here in the studio, AirDrop is an absolute lifesaver. Whether it's a quick audio clip, a document, or even a photo of a guitarist flipping the bird because yet again the bass player is nowhere to be found, AirDrop's got you covered. Now, I'm not saying a lack of AirDrop is a deal breaker, but it sure as hell makes life easier. It's one of those, once you have it, you never go back features that makes Windows look like it's still stuck in the technological equivalent of the Stone Age. Number 5. Even the MacBook Air is super powerful. Who says you need a beefy desktop rig to do serious work? The MacBook Air here might look tiny, but looks can be deceiving. This thing packs a punch so hard, it'll knock the smug right off your face. I'm talking full mixes, multi-track sessions, and editing 4K video in DaVinci Resolve while on the go. Hell, I've cranked out YouTube thumbnails for the show while riding the ICE train between Frankfurt and Cologne on this thing. And this little monster doesn't break a sweat. It's like carrying a mini production studio in your backpack. It's lightweight, powerful, and ready to chew through whatever ridiculous stuff you can throw at it. And now that remote work is here to stay, despite all those corporate CEOs trying to drag everyone back to the office like it's 1999, the MacBook Air is a godsend. You've got battery life for days, performance that's second to none, and it's not going to throw out your back like those Windows laptops that need a power brick the size of a small child just to function. And let me tell you, unlike the last Windows laptop that I own, which sounded like a goddamn jet engine whenever I opened a project, this thing runs silent. No more embarrassing noise pollution in the middle of a session when you're trying to track an acoustic guitar or while you're pretending to be productive on Zoom calls. So yeah, the MacBook Air is actually super powerful and it won't double as a white noise machine. You're welcome. Speaking of noise, number 6, Macs are very quiet. All right, let's talk about the noise. Have you ever sat next to a PC that sounds like it's about ready to launch into orbit? Or better yet, did that fan noise bleed into your recordings? Yeah, nothing like some good old fan hum to really spice up your pristine audio tracks. Now, if you listen closely, you can actually hear the sound of the PC built into this Neve console. Yeah, I spent years trying to get shit quiet in here and then Neve builds that thing. Great job, guys! Sure, you could throw on some noise reduction plugins, but enjoy watching your CPU catch fire in the process. Macs, on the other hand, are like the ninjas of the computer world. Stealthy, silent, and deadly efficient. You won't even know they're on most of the time. And when you're working late at night or living with roommates or just trying to not piss off the family, Macs are the perfect partner in crime. None of that constant fan whining you get from a PC when you ask it to do anything remotely difficult. And before you PC warriors lose your shit in the comments, let me say this. Yes, I did do some PC builds over the years. My first low noise case was back in 2008. Don't ask me the brand, it's been too long, but I picked it up from PC Outfitters in Windsor. Awesome local builder, by the way. The owner was mocking the hell of this weird looking case that had rubber pucks to separate the components. But as soon as I saw it, I bought it on the spot. And it was glorious. Rubber gaskets on the drive mounts, it's acoustically isolated, the works. And then when I was finished with that, I had the Cooler Master Cosmos, a massive case with low rotation fans that was practically whisper quiet. And let's not forget this Antec case that I got sitting over here that was built with sound dampening material. I ran it as a dual boot system for the PC and my Hackintosh until that finally kicked the bucket. I still use that case for my PC gaming rig. Feel free to swing by the SMG Discord on Counter-Strike nights if you want to get even with me for telling the truth about your PC. But for audio production, N1 Mac Studio. It's quiet right out of the box. No need to build a Frankenstein's monster just to get some peace and quiet. Even the fan in the onboard computer on this Neve console that I'm running makes more noise than my Mac. And trust me, it's a serious problem with no easy fix, and it's driving me off the fucking wall. 7. Exclusive hardware and software. Macs are like the VIP section of the tech world. If you're not using one, well, enjoy standing outside with the pleb. You get access to exclusive software and hardware that Windows users can only dream about. Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, those slick Retina displays that make your PC monitor look like a potato. It's a red carpet treatment for Mac users only. And when it comes to interfaces, Universal Audio and Focusrite both offer Thunderbolt exclusive options that sync with iOS like it's nobody's business. My Focusrite Red 16 line, for example. It's fucking incredible. Try getting that level of integration with a Windows rig, and I'll wait while you troubleshoot driver issues for the next 3 hours. Seriously, when I switched to Mac, I left all that PC troubleshooting hell behind. It's like joining a club where the secret handshake is not having to deal with constant driver issues. I mean, like, does this sound familiar? Have you ever allowed Windows to find the driver on its own and it actually came back with something that worked? I swear, they put that feature in to fool you into believing that Windows is easy to work with. Number 8, compatibility with other Mac users. Now, if you've ever tried collaborating with a team of Windows users, you know it's about as smooth as herding cats. With Macs, everything just clicks. Projects, files, screens, no drama, no bullshit. It just fucking works. I made the switch because I was sick of wasting my life troubleshooting compatibility issues. With Macs, it's like we all speak the same language, and FaceTime is a godsend for organizing virtual meetings without needing to install yet another app. Meanwhile, your PC friends are still fiddling with broken drivers and wondering why nothing works the way it should. However, they'll all keep insisting that their machine is the superior choice. Number 9. Aggregate devices. You ever try connecting multiple audio devices on a PC? Yeah, good fucking luck with that. Unless your interfaces talk to each other via LightPipe, Dante, or MADI, you are absolutely fucked. Oh, you've got 2 4-channel interfaces with all that fancy tech? Well, guess what, champ? Enjoy beating your head against the wall while you try to make that shit work. You're screwed, and we both know it. But on the Mac, they've got this amazing thing called Aggregate Device, and it's a fucking game changer. Hook up your interfaces, go to Audio Setup, and click Create Aggregate Device, set the order, give it a name, and boom, you are done. All those extra inputs and outputs suddenly available in your DAW without having to sacrifice your sanity or waste hours fucking around with cables, drivers, and whatever black magic you need on a PC. Just make sure everything's clocked the same, and you are off to the races. Me, I can aggregate my Antelope Galaxy 32, my Focusrite Red 16 line, my RME Fireface UFX, and my Neumann MT48, all in one monster of an audio interface if I feel like it. Now, I'm not about to mic up an orchestra or anything anytime soon, but hey, it's nice to know I could if the mood struck. And for you guys looking to add more channels into your setup, Aggregate Device has got you covered without any of that PC bullshit getting in the way. So why the hell doesn't this exist on PC? Because life's just not fair. That's why. Number 10, Thunderbolt is superior to USB. Now let's get one thing straight. USB is fantastic, but Thunderbolt, that's an league all of its own. Comparing USB to Thunderbolt is like comparing a tricycle to a Ferrari. With Thunderbolt, you're getting faster data transfer, more power, and the ability to daisy chain devices like you're some kind of tech wizard. It is the Swiss Army knife of ports, and once you go Thunderbolt, you never go back. I am running SSD drives, audio interfaces, HDMI video, camera inputs, iLock, DaVinci USB key, wireless mouse, keyboard dongles, all on the same hub. You try that shit on a PC and I guarantee Bill Gates is gonna have a brain aneurysm. Hell, your PC might even spontaneously combust if you even think about it too much. Number 11, absolutely no downtime. Now you know what's fantastic about Macs? They just fucking work. No blue screen of death, no random crashes, no updates that hijack your day and make you question your life choices. Believe me, I have been there with this Neve console when the PC on it decided to die and then I was down for 4 days and that killed my entire workflow. Time is your most valuable asset in this business. You don't get it back. And Macs, they don't waste it. Since switching to Mac in 2019, I haven't had a single day lost to system failure. Meanwhile, my old Acer laptop crapped out on me 3 times in a row, all well documented here on this channel. Sure, your mileage may vary, but I can say this. My Hackintosh kicked the bucket pretty quick. Using PC parts, of course, not official Apple gear. But my Mac Studio, still running perfectly since October 2022. It's built for work, not for drama. Number 12, Mac is for work, PC is for play. Now let's face it, Macs are like that well-dressed coworker that shows up, gets shit done, and doesn't waste time. They're for professionals who need to crank out serious work without hiccups. PCs, yeah, they're fun, but they're like that buddy you game with on weekends. Great for some Counter-Strike, but don't expect them to pull off a 12-hour session without something going wrong. I run a PC for gaming, I'm not ashamed of it. But when I need to mix a track or edit a video or handle a mountain of plugins, I run that shit on my Mac. Macs are workhorses for creatives, and PCs are fine for watching virtual porn. You work hard, you play hard, right? Just make sure you're not mixing the two of them up. Number 13, it just plain works. And now for the grand finale. Let's say it again for the people in the back. The best thing about Macs is that they just plain fucking work. No hunting for drivers in the depths of the internet, no lag, no virus-ridden nightmares that have you pulling your hair out. Everything is optimized to run smoother than a well-oiled machine, so you can actually focus on what you're supposed to be doing, making music or getting creative, not troubleshooting why your computer crashed for the 7th time today. Back in the day, I'd spend hours trying to find free IRQs for my PC just to get the audio to work without it fighting with my modem or mouse like it was some kind of turf war inside my computer. Seriously, the pre-USB interface days were a total clusterfuck, let me tell you. I probably could have saved myself a shitload of grief if I had just sucked it up and bought a Mac way back then. But these days, what's really great is it's been 2 years since I got my Mac Studio, and guess what? It's still just as fast, just as snappy as the day I unboxed it. None of that infamous Windows slowdown that forces you to reinstall your OS once a year just to unclog the digital toilet. Seriously, I do not miss those days. Before I wrap it up, I do have one serious complaint about Macs: the god-awful game support. Come on, Apple, these new machines are more than capable of handling a few AAA games. Now, if they ever get that shit figured out, I'll never have to touch a PC again, except to get my ass kicked at Counter-Strike by the SMG Discord crew. They're not nearly as going to audio setup, click gamble down. Let's do that one more time. Since switching to, let's do this whole segment again.